past week. And are you still there?
Yep.
Okay. And my other responsibilities and obligations, I think I'm going to have to drop the spirituality reading down to only one book a week, which would only be 4 a month instead of 6. But
Yep.
that at least that will be obtainable.
So that's 12. Would that be 12 books in 3 months?
Yeah, 12 books in
By
3
July?
months.
Okay, good. Good, because we're going by July 1st.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that rounds us up to 3 months from today. Cool. Okay, good. And your other one was meditating as well. So have you changed that?
No, I'm going to still do the meditating for 30 minutes a day. But I'm going to, because sometimes I use hour-long meditation programs. So I'm going to do I'm going to shoot for 3.5 hours a week or 4 hours a week, somewhere in there. So it may not be every day, but it'll be the same volume of time.
Okay,
because
good.
I don't always have a full hour to dedicate to meditating every day, and the hour-long meditations are so much better than the 30 minutes.
Okay, cool. And your other goal was clothing size as well?
Yeah, I think I can hit that. I think I can hit a size 12 in that store. I did go into the store and try on their largest size, which was a little bit too tight, because at Walmart I'm at a 16, but Walmart sizes run a little bit weird, you know. So the store size, I couldn't get the zipper up on the pants, but that's only like a ½ inch difference, you know. So I still think I can hit like a size 12, and even if it's a size 12 where I can get the zipper up to the same that I was able to get the 16 up to this time, we'll be fine.
Okay, good. And the exercise as well. You wanted to put in place an exercise goal?
Yeah, from what I'm going off of what my pool schedule is right now, I'm going to try to get in 5 days a week swimming for an hour. But I generally have to take my children, so I'm sometimes in the shallow water doing things like burpees, or doing like different type of like calisthenic type of exercises in the water. And then other times I'm in the deep water doing treading water or swimming laps. So an hour a day isn't like I'm not like an Olympian swimmer doing an hour a day of swimming, so I'm not getting the same intensity out of it. So I think I can manage an hour a day swimming 5 times a week, and I think I can manage taking my kids to the park and walking my dogs for at least 20, 30 minutes, maybe try to even get it up to 40 minutes. Like I was thinking for the first month, shoot for 20 minutes of like consistent, solid, fast-paced walking with the dogs and the kids. And then on the second month, get it up to 30, and then in the third, towards the third month there, get it up to 45, so that I'm gradually building it up.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And like it depends on what my body tells me too, right? Like I'm going off of being not very active right now. So if my body's like super receptive and I can put out more exercise, then I can reevaluate the goals too and push harder,
Yeah, okay, sure. The exercise volume and these things probably as you're learning in the Breaking My Body Image book, you notice that there's a balance between volume, in other words, the amount of time or intensity spent in the exercise versus results. So I don't know if I quite went into that part. I don't think I went into that as much detail in the book, but we can talk about that on another call. And getting your kind of basically it's a balance between too much exercise and too little, and there's a balance between food as well, and the approach to food as far as quantity and but it's more about quality. So initially the focus on quality on the real food is the main factor with the food, and then the exercise, and the main factor of that is volume. So not overkilling it and even underkilling it can be more worthwhile initially in the beginning stages, because a lot of the time the food makes most of the changes for people. The real food basically resets the body up. So, but we can talk in more detail about the exercise stuff later. During this call, I really want to lock your goals in place. So,
Okay.
I don't think it's probably necessary to lock in the exercise goals as such, because they're probably going to adjust, and they're more like the cogs in the works of the machine actually kind of getting the result. In other words, like they're like the small cogs to the big goal, which the big goal for that, I mean, would probably be more like the plantable goal is more like the size 12. The plantable goal is more like the having the 12 books read for on spirituality, and as well as the meditating. So I think that those are pretty good. I think that we need to get the end outcome for that goal. So let's start off at clothing, because that's going to be the easiest one to pin down.
Okay.
So when it comes to your clothing, that clothing goal being a size 12, we want to know what is the last step that has to happen so you know you got it. So if you were to think about the last step that needs to happen so you know you got it, so that you know that you're, say, size 12, what would that be?
Putting on size 12 clothes and fitting it.
Okay, good.
So very last step.
Okay, so that's the last step. Wrapping a pair of jeans and a top around you. Is that it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. So you could, if you wanted to, you could imagine yourself achieving that goal and thinking of what it would be like when you're a size 12 and wrapping the jeans around you, and you could draw a picture out of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. All right. So what we'll do is July the 1st is a reasonable amount of time. It's measurable because we're measuring your goal because it's in sizing, so that's already done. It's quite specific because it's a specific size 12, and it's also specific because you're going to be putting the clothing on your body, and that's going to be quite specific. It's also realistic inside of the time frame that we've created it as, and we've created a time, so it is time, so it's not going to slide out of your reach as the closer you get further to it. So it's time we have a date. The only thing we haven't done yet is we haven't written it as if now. So writing it as if now, what that means is you're writing it as if it's already done in the present tense. So you'd be writing it as in, it is now, whatever the day is, it is now July the 1st. I think we locked it down as a Tuesday. Let me double check that anyway. That
yeah,
is,
I remember that.
It's a Tuesday.
Okay.
So I'm just jotting that down, Tuesday. Now, since you got your pen in your hand now, because I heard the paper scratching, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write, it is now Tuesday, July the 1st. So just write that now for me if you can. It is now Tuesday the 1st, or okay. It is now Tuesday, July the 1st. Yeah. I have just put on a pair of size 12 jeans.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've just put on a pair of size 12 jeans. And I am standing in the store.
Mm-hmm.
And you can write the store name or whatever you want.
Okay. That's Jean Warehouse.
Yeah.
I'm standing in Jean Warehouse. Okay.
Okay. And I know I have just completed my goal because these jeans, these size 12 jeans, because I'm wearing these size 12 jeans, something like that.
Okay.
Okay, good. How does that read?
It's now Tuesday, July the 1st. I have just put on a pair of jeans, and I'm standing in the store jean warehouse. I know that I've just completed my goal because I'm wearing a pair of size 12 jeans.
You like that? Okay, good. So that's our first goal set. So just put that aside, and we'll go to the next goal. So
Okay.
let's write out now. What we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing with your spiritual book, and this time we want to know what is the last thing that needs to happen so that you know that you have read these books. Is it looking into your library and seeing a stack of books and just tossing the last one in there, the 12th book in there with the rest? Is it looking at a bill that says 12 books? Is it like, how will you quantify that? What's the last step that needs to happen to know that you've read the 12 books?
Yeah, I think I can clear a space on a shelf. I've got lots of entertainment shelving and stuff like that. And I could clear a space on a shelf and have just a shelf for my books. And I kind of want to buy them as I go, so that the first book it leads into the second book. I don't want to try to pick these books not knowing which direction the book's going to take me, you know?
Okay,
so
good.
I think by putting the last book in line on the shelf would be my final goal.
Okay, great. So let's do that. So I'd like you to write down now, if you would take your pen and write down. It is now Tuesday, July the 1st.
Okay.
Okay, it is now Tuesday, July the 1st. And I have just placed the 12th spiritual book on the shelf.
Okay.
Okay. And I now know that I have just completed my spiritual goal.
Okay.
Okay, good. How does that one read?
1 second. Sorry, I'm writing as fast as I can. I'll have to type it out so it looks nice later. Okay.
No, that's okay.
It is now Tuesday, July 1st. I have just placed the 12th spiritual book on the shelf. I know I now have completed my spiritual goal.
Okay, good. All right. How does that one feel?
Great. That feels good.
Okay, good.
I'm going to come out of that with totally empowered and enlightened, so that's going to be awesome.
Awesome, Jenna. All right, let's go on to the next goal. So you can just leave that one for now, and we'll go on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, so the next goal is you're meditating 3.5 hours per week. So we won't kind of quantify it as like, oh, I've just meditated 20 hours in the last three months. What we'll do is we'll just goal so that you know that the last thing that has to happen is something that kind of quantifies the whole 3 months. Maybe it's the quality of your meditation, maybe it's the past week and what you've experienced, or the very last thing on your last meditation for that week, which is being a July Tuesday, maybe your first or second meditation for that week. So
Okay.
so what would you be doing if you knew that over the last 3 months you just finished meditating for 3.5 hours per week, divided out over 3.5 hours per week at various meditation sessions, and that it is now Tuesday, and now that you've just meditated over the last 3 months, you're just finishing up a meditation. What else would that be the last thing that would need to happen, or would something else need to happen that you would know that you just meditated for the last 3 months effectively?
Well, right now I'm a pretty good meditator, but I tend to do like guided meditation over and like with like sounds and stuff, and I cannot do like an hour of meditation just in that clear white space with no thoughts for an hour. But I think if I was really dedicated and I was meditating for 4 hours a week at least, that I would probably be able to, by July 1st, be able to sit for an hour and do just white, pure, light thought meditation on its own. So maybe that would be like a goal to shoot for. Like that my last meditation session, that I was able to meditate for an hour unassisted. And I know I've like attained that goal because I've trained my mind and I've practiced enough and stuff like that, or whatever.
Okay, good. So let's imagine that let's write the goal as if you're just opening your eyes from a 1 hour meditation session where you're able to take all of what you would have developed over the previous 3 months and you've now reached that point. So let's do that, shall we?
Okay, sounds great.
Okay, cool, because that's pretty definable. So you can just start that goal as it is now Tuesday, July the 1st.
Mhm. Okay.
And I have just opened my eyes after a 1 hour meditation session.
Okay.
Okay, it is now Tuesday the July 1st, and I've just opened my eyes after a 1 hour meditation session, knowing that I have just completed my meditation training over the last 3 months. Something like that. Maybe you want to add in somewhere there, you've just completed your 1 hour meditation. I've just completed my 1 hour meditation. And maybe talk about the quality of it. So, you know, I was able to maintain XYZ, or I was able to achieve this level of meditation, or this level.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, I have it. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, please.
Okay. It is now July the 1st, and I have just opened my eyes after a 1 hour meditation session. I know I have completed my meditation goal because I have achieved meditating unassisted and uninterrupted for 1 hour.
Mhm.
That's it.
Okay, good.
Unassisted would be without the YouTube videos and the guided meditation, and uninterrupted would be uninterrupted from intrusive thoughts, and that I was able to maintain that level of focus that I'm trying to achieve. So I think I got it.
Good. Okay, good. All right, so let's plant these goals, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, so before we do that, now, Jenna, here is what most people do. Most people start where you just finished. Actually, no, other way around. They finish where you're just starting now. So they usually write out their goals and then they leave it, and that's pretty much all they do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like 1/5 of the goal setting process. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to give them life, and we're going to plant them in your future.
Okay.
So let's start off with the first one. The first one is your clothing size. So let's do 3 for today. 3 of these main goals, because I think they have the strongest factors about them, and they're most measurable. So let's start with the clothing, and you've got that written in front of you, have you not?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's start out this way. So what we want to do is we want to give this picture life, and what I mean by that is we want to make it super real for you. So we're going to make this really real first.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm just gonna get you to read that goal, and then as you read that goal in front of you now, I would just like you to draw a picture.
In my mind or on paper?
Yeah, no, not on paper, just in your mind.
Okay.
Just bring a picture up of you achieving that goal the way that you've written it.
Okay, awesome. I've got it. Okay. It is now Tuesday, July the 1st, and I've just put on a pair of size 12 jeans, and I'm standing in the store Jean Warehouse. I know I have just completed my goal because I'm wearing a pair of size 12 jeans.
Good. Okay. Now, I'd just like you to give that a picture. So the picture that's in your mind, do you have that now?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want you to make that picture more real, and whatever making it more real for you is, I'd just like you to go ahead and do that. So just make the colors more colorful, if you will.
Okay.
Okay. Now, just for now, I'd just like you to keep that picture, and I'd like you to add in some sounds. So, what do you think you may hear at the time?
I could probably hear uh, other people in the store chatting. Maybe the dressing room doors opening and closing. I could hear, the sound of the metal clothing racks and the metal hangers swishing on them when people are looking through clothes. I could probably hear uh, at the till the cashier talking and
Mm-hmm.
completing a transaction. Um,
Okay, good. And what would be something really specific? Maybe it's a zip of a fly going up. Maybe the zip of your fly going up.
Okay, yeah, I would definitely hear that for sure.
That
For sure.
zip sound.
Zip.
All right, good. And what would you be feeling on your body? What would you be feeling?
um, I'd be feeling the jeans snugly on my
Yep.
body, and I would be feeling uh, uh, happy and successful and warm, and I would be feeling accomplished.
Okay. Are there any other feelings outside of you that you may notice in that store as you're standing in there now?
Oh yes, everybody in the store would be looking at me, looking at my great ass and my great jeans, and I would feel their eyes on me.
Oh, you got a good sense of humor. Okay. So, good. So, what is there anything else that you would that you would feel around you, or the jeans? Well, we can probably just leave it at the jeans wrapping around you for now as the main one.
Yeah, I I am envisioning in my mind the scenario, and I'm feeling uh constriction on my waist, like right now, even thinking about the waistband being snug on my body and doing up the pants. So I think that'll be fulfilling enough, that feeling.
Okay, good. And is there anything that you would be able to smell?
Yeah, like clothing stores have like a new clothing smell. You know the one I'm
Mm.
talking about. I'd be able to smell that.
Yeah, I do. Okay, good. And would there be anything that you would taste at all?
Uh, Probably not.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Yep, good. And is there anything, is there any, now what would you be saying to yourself? What is something that you say to yourself on the inside when you've achieved something?
That I'm awesome, that I'm great, that I'm terrific. I say lots of good, positive things to myself, but
Great.
probably
So
that I'm
what's,
awesome.
okay, great. So how would that go? Would it be like, Jenny, you're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it would go.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I'd just like you to keep that in mind and keep those all locked together, all of those, all of what we've just been through. And what I'd like you to do is I'd just like you to step into that picture. So make sure that you're looking through your own eyes now as I speak to you, and you're seeing what you need to see, you're hearing what you need to hear, you're feeling what you need to feel, you're smelling what you need to smell, and you're saying those things inside your head like, yeah, Jenny, you're awesome. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make sure you're looking through your own eyes and you're imagining that you're in this experience now and you're actually, hearing that sound, that zip of the fly going up of the jeans around you. And what I'd like you to do is I'd just like you to focus on what you can see and notice the colors and make them richer if you need to. Make the reds redder and the greens greener and the blues bluer if you need to. And just make them the most real as possible for you.
Yeah, I have a pretty intense image in my mind. For some reason, I'm not in a change room though. I'm standing in front of one particular wall in the store that usually I like the best from the selection of clothes there the best. Uh, so yeah, I've got it.
Okay, good. Just make sure you're in the place that you would actually be in when you would
Okay,
zip
so
your
I have to go
jeans.
in the change room then.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, all right. Let me change that vision up a little bit. Okay, yeah, I'm inside the change room.
Okay, good. And just make sure that the colors are nice and clear for you.
Yeah,
And
okay.
just notice the focus and if you need to, just turn that focus up a little bit more. Make it more crisp and more clear, and see if that makes it more real for you.
Yeah, it does. It was a little bit fuzzy before, a little bit clouded. But now, yeah,
Okay.
I've got it turned up.
Okay, good. And notice the brightness or the dimness. Notice what happens when you turn it up a little bit brighter, and just make it bright enough that it becomes as real for you as possible.
Okay.
Okay, and just notice whether it's a movie playing or whether it's a still. If it's just a little short movie like a zip, and you can see whatever you need to see, or if it's a still.
No, it's a movie. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. Okay, and now notice the sounds that are going on, and just notice the things that you're saying to yourself. Like, yeah, Jenny, you're awesome. And just notice that sound, and then as you notice that, I'd just like you to notice some of the sounds outside of you as well. So like you shared transactions going on, the sound of the coat hangers, and if you need to, just make any of those sounds around you on the outside. Make them a little bit louder or make them a little quieter. You just do that now.
Okay. Yeah, I've got them at a pretty reasonable volume.
Okay, good. And then notice the feeling. So the feeling of the jeans around your waist, and notice of course, you've already got the sound of zip going up, and then of the fly going up. And notice the feeling of the jeans wrapped around your body, and any other feelings that you need to.
Okay. Yeah, I feel awesome.
Okay.
Feels terrific.
Okay, good. And just notice the smells, that clothing smell as well, and just notice that.
Okay.
Okay, good. Notice how real all that feels to you right now.
Yeah, it feels real.
Good. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to step out of the picture so you can see yourself in the picture now.
Okay.
Okay, now just take that picture, and I just want you to float up above now, nice and high above your timeline, and just let me know once you're nice and high and you're holding on to that picture.
I'm pretty high. Like I look like a Barbie size. That that like 7-inch doll, or not like I look like a doll. Should I be smaller than that? Should I be like an ant? Or should
What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to, the picture that you just created, I'd like you to grab that and pull it up as you float up so that it's actually still the same for you.
Oh, okay. All right.
So float all the way down into that picture if you need to, and then step back out of the picture so you can see yourself in it, and then grab it and pull it just above your timeline so that you're floating nice and above your timeline.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, now what I'd like you to do is we're going to energize the picture now. We're going to energize the representation. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to, in a moment, just breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth, and blow all the energy into this picture, into this representation, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you ready? We're going to take 4 deep breaths together, and we're going to breathe all that energy into that picture. Okay, so breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then in through the nose and breathing that energy through into the picture. Last one, in through the nose. Breathing all that life into the picture, out through the mouth. Okay. Now make sure that you're floating out into the future, and take this picture with you, grab it, and I want you to float out into the future, all the way out into your future to July, Tuesday the 1st, and I want you to float all the way out into the future, and just let me know once you're there and you're holding onto this picture.
Yeah, I'm there. It's Canada Day. It's our national holiday, so it was easy for me to get to that date right away. I recognize that date.
Very good. Okay, very good, Jenna. So I'd like you to notice that date, July the 1st, Tuesday, and I'd like you to grab that picture and take it all the way down right into that part of the timeline, right into that point. I just want you to let go of the picture and let it float down into the timeline, and allow yourself to float above it, watching it sink down into Tuesday, 1st of July.
Okay, it's floating like a feather, down, down, down. Okay, it's there.
Great. Just make sure that that picture's you've stayed floating up above your timeline, and you've let that picture go all the way down, and it's clicked into your timeline on the 1st of July, Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I just want you to notice the events between then and now reevaluate themselves to support your goal.
Okay.
Okay. Now, did you notice anything? Did you notice your unconscious mind and all your conscious actions rearrange themselves on your timeline all the way to this future point?
Yeah, I had some thought visions of being in the grocery market in the produce section, and I had some thoughts of being in the pool and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. And now I'd just like you to float all the way back to now and come all the way back to the present. And all the way down into the room.
Okay.
And all the way looking through your own eyes now, and just clear the screen.
Okay.
Okay, good.
One second, it's kind of hard to clear the screen. My body doesn't want to let go of that vision. My mind doesn't want to let go. Okay.
It's okay. The vision's still. Are you alright?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, good. So now when you look towards the future, do you notice that it is different?
I've noticed that I feel differently about it.
Okay, good.
I feel more successful, which is strange because I haven't accomplished anything yet, but yeah.
Okay, good, Jenna. Now we're going to move on to your next goal. We're going to go to the 12 books read, the spiritual books.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to run through this a little quicker this time.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just, rather than repeating what's coming to you, I'd just like you to, I know that you operate really quickly and you process quite fast, so what I'll have you do is I'll just have you, as I speak to you now over this call, I'll just have you create the pictures and the sounds and all of that. I'll just have you do that without having to say anything, okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, cool. So I'd just like you to imagine that point where you've read the 12 books and you're now at that last step that needs to happen so that you know you've achieved this goal. I'd like you to put yourself into the body and into that time and place when you know you've achieved the goal, when you've finished reading these 12 books, and it is the 1st of July, Tuesday, 2014, and you're standing in your home and you have the bookshelf and you're placing the 12th book into that bookshelf, and I just want you to notice what you see around you. And as you notice what you see around you, I just want you to notice any sounds that are going on in the environment.
Got it.
Good. And as you notice the sounds in your environment, I just want you to notice the feeling, maybe the feeling in your hands of placing that book and sliding it onto the shelf. I want you to notice any other feelings that are in your body or outside your body.
Okay.
I want you to notice if there are any smells at all, anything that you can smell.
Mhm.
And I want you to notice if there is anything that you can taste.
No.
Okay, and I want you to notice if there's any, if you're making any sounds inside your head or talking to yourself. Is there anything in particular, notice anything that you're actually saying to yourself now that you know you've achieved this goal? Maybe like a happy achievement type of voice.
Mhm. Good job.
Okay, excellent. Good job. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make sure that you've stepped into this picture and that you're looking through your own eyes and you can see what you need to see, feel what you need to feel, and hear what you need to feel. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to notice everything that you see, and I'd like you to notice the colors. And I'd like you to make them more rich if you need to. Make the reds redder and the blues bluer and the greens greener.
Okay.
And I'd like you to bring the picture closer, or bring everything closer to you if you need to, or push it a little bit further away. Just adjust that until it becomes the most real for you.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'd like you to adjust the brightness. If you need to turn the brightness down a little bit, or if you need to turn it up a little bit more, and just making it a little bit more real.
Yeah, got it.
Good, and just notice the focus now. Make it more clear, and make the lines crisper and clearer to make it the most real for you.
Okay.
And I'd just like you to notice any of the sounds, any of the important sounds, and I'd just like you to make them more clear. Any of the sounds around you.
Yeah.
And
I have
just
a busy
adjust the volume. Okay, good. And just adjust the volume as you need to make it as real as possible.
Yeah, got it.
Good. And I'd just like you to be really aware of that voice inside of you, that Jenna saying, "Good job."
Okay.
And I'd like you to notice the feelings in your body, and any feelings that you're noticing now inside your body. And notice where they are, and just turn them up a little bit or tune them in if you need to.
Okay.
Now I'd like you to step out of that picture so you can see yourself in the picture now.
Yeah.
And I'd like you to take the picture, and I'd like you to hold on to it as you float above your timeline and floating all the way up so you're nice and high above now.
Mhm.
Now I'd like you to energize and take all of your energy, and I'd like you to energize this picture with 4 deep breaths. So just breathing in through the nose now, and out through your mouth, energizing the picture. And in through your nose, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Last time, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. That's it. Now I'd just like you to take this energized picture, and I'd like you to float all the way out into the future, all the way to Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2014. And let me know once you're out there.
Yeah.
Great, and I'd like you to let go of this picture. I'd like you to let go of it so that it floats all the way down into your timeline into the 1st of July, and just watch it sink straight in there and click in there.
Yeah.
Good, and I'd just like you to notice all the events between then and now, reevaluate themselves to support this new goal.
Okay.
Okay, now I'd like you to float all the way back to now, and all the way back to now, back to the present time now, and come down into the room, all the way down, looking through your own eyes.
Okay.
Good. And just clear the screen, or don't think of purple monkeys.
Okay.
Okay, now when you look towards the future, do you notice it's different?
Yeah. Yeah. I notice it's different.
Okay, good. Now we're going to move on to your next goal, Jenna. So we're going to move on to onto your meditation goal.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just get you to read that goal out for me.
Sure. It's now July 1st, and I have just opened my eyes after a 1-hour meditation session. I know I have just completed my meditation goal because I have achieved meditating unassisted and uninterrupted for 1 hour.
Very good. So as you were reading that, you probably had a picture and sounds and feelings coming to you. So I'd just like you now to get really clear on that last point. Maybe you're opening your eyes after that last session, like you described.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. I'd just like you to notice any of the pictures that you need to, or notice what you see.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and notice any sounds if there are any.
No sound.
Okay, good. And notice any feelings.
Yeah.
And notice if there are any tastes.
No taste.
And notice if there are any smells.
Yeah, smells.
And notice if you're saying anything to yourself.
No, pretty serene.
Okay, I'd just like you to step into that picture now of serenity, and I'd just like you to, looking through your own eyes, picturing the time that you were inside that event, and this is the last point that's had to happen in order to know that you've now achieved your goal of meditating and reaching this point of meditation that you've desired. And I'd like you to notice what you see, and I'd just like you to adjust the colors if you need to. Make the reds redder and the greens greener and the blues bluer.
Okay.
I'd just like you to bring everything closer to you or further away and just adjust that just to make it more surreal for you.
Okay.
And I'd just like you to adjust the brightness of the picture. Make it brighter or turn it down a little bit dimmer. Just notice what makes it most real for you.
Yeah, it's real. It's real now.
Okay, and just adjust the focus if you need to. So make it clearer or make it more blurry as you need to.
Okay.
And I'd just like you to notice any sounds that are important. And notice any feelings that are important.
Okay.
Okay, notice any feelings that are going on in your body or outside your body.
Okay.
Okay. And I'd just like you to notice any smells that are going on in the area.
I've got the incense smell.
Okay, good. And I'd just like you to notice what you're saying to yourself now. Notice that congratulation type, or that whatever you're saying to yourself, serenity.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, good. Just allowing this time to be as real as possible now, making any last minute adjustments that you need to make it as real as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd just like you to step out of this picture and so that you can see yourself in the picture.
Okay.
And I'd just like you to take this picture and I'd like you to hold on to it as you float up above now, nice and high above your timeline.
Okay.
And now I'd like you to energize this picture with 4 deep breaths. So we're going to draw all the energy and we're going to pull that energy into this image. Okay, so just breathing through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Breathing all that energy in. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And last time, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay. Now just taking the energized picture, and I just want you to float out into the future, all the way over, all the way into the future, so that you make your way to Tuesday, the 1st of July, 2014.
Yeah.
And now that you're there, I'd just like you to let go of this picture and let it float right down into the timeline. Just sinking inside, just clicking down there into Tuesday, the 1st of July.
Okay.
And now, looking back towards the past, notice the events between then and now reevaluate themselves to support this new goal.
Yeah.
And just come floating all the way back to now. All the way back to now and all the way back to the present. Then coming down into now, all the way down into the room and looking through your own eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And just clearing the screen now, or not thinking of purple elephants.
All right.
All right, very cool. So that's we've just planted 3 goals in your future there, Jenna. So looking towards the future now, do you notice that it seems different?
Yes, and you know what was really interesting, Nick, is when I was at my present point in my timeline floating above and I was heading towards my future, my head always seemed to turn a little bit to the left. like, because I guess that's the direction my timeline flows. So each
Mm-hmm.
time my head just naturally just started to turn and point in that direction. So that was awesome. I feel very
Oh,
different
very
than
nice.
before.
Very cool. And is that a lot different to the way you've set goals in the past?
Yeah, setting goals in the past was kind of the thing. I want to accomplish this, and they're not really, sometimes not even writing it down actually, or really thinking about it, or thinking about the steps I'd have to take in my mind to accomplish the goal. So very different.
Mm. Mm. Okay, good. Very good. All right. Well, that's the goal setting part of the call that we've accomplished.
Okay, awesome.
Mm. Fantastic. So so now we're on to so now that we've set your goals, and now I'd like to do kind of just open the line up to you to share whatever you want to share, or speak about what you want to speak about. Because I know that we've been through quite a bit on the last. Because now we're up to now we're on call number 5. So I know that we've been through quite a bit, and typically with the case studies, usually it's 1 to 5 calls. Sometimes it's a little bit more, but most of the time it's about 5 calls. Um, so is there anything based upon what's going on in your life right now that because I know that we originally caught up and that you were, there was challenges around eating and body image, and I know that they're not the same for you. And I know that you've had a lot of breakthroughs and a lot of shifts. So I would like to explore kind of what's been going on with you, like specifically over the last week or so. So
Okay.
how have you been going?
Really well. My negative self-talk is way down, and my positive self-talk is is super up. And I'm complimenting myself a lot, and I'm validating my worth a lot to myself, and also I'm validating my worth a lot when I speak to other people, especially online. I've been like tooting my own horn a lot lately, and my eating is really improved. I've lost track of since the last time where I actually sat down, because my husband leaves to go to work for the week. So I tend to get into this. I used to have this horrible pattern of just binging most of the evening away, and I haven't done that at all, which is just phenomenal. And I also purchased a whole bunch of real food after doing some reading. Like, I've been doing a lot of reading of your ebooks, and trying to work the program that angle too, and taking all of that knowledge. And I've been taking some notes and referring back to them, and being really focused, and I'm really doing great. Like, I feel awesome. My family's on board with the healthy eating. My husband's super stoked about it because it's an improvement for the kid's life, and it's improvement for his life, and for all of our health. And we've been getting out and walking the animals, and I've been going and doing things with friends and family, and haven't been totally consumed with just like selfishness, and just being in my own mindset, and all about like assuming people are thinking bad about me, or worrying like that. So those are some major breakthroughs for me.
That's fantastic, Jenna. I'm really glad to hear that. You certainly have had some breakthroughs, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. Well, I guess I mean, when we originally caught up, we were like, well, I was like, well, let's put it over to you. What would you like to work on? And you were like, specifically on, being mindful and accepting of my body, and being mindful of my eating, establishing healthy habits as far as eating goes, and a healthy approach and attitude towards eating, being at peace around eating, swimming at the pool, and having more positive self-talk and a lot less negative self-talk. Um, that's that's what I've got down here as far as
Yeah,
what you
the
originally
pool.
wanted.
The pool right now is having some staff shortages, so there's been 3 times I've packed up the kids and gone to go to the pool. We got there and it was closed, even though my schedule said it was open. So I have been attempting to get that swimming in too, and I haven't been deterred by the staff shortages. Where before in the past, had I gone once and it wasn't open, that would have been an excuse to just give up on that goal altogether. So I'm feeling really good about all of this.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's excellent, Jenna.
Yeah, it is.
Um, Now, let me ask you this. Some people some people have the idea that some people have the idea that they can just wake up one day and everything has changed. And although a lot of changes may occur, like some of the big breakthroughs that you had, they may occur in a moment of decision or a moment of awareness or a moment of choice. It's like dropping a rock into a pond. It's like there's the original splash, the original big shift at the unconscious level, and then there's the ripple effect where those ripples go out and they begin to affect the other areas of your life. So they're affecting your behavior and your attitude and your self-talk, and all these little bits of the puzzle are all kind of lining up, so to speak. All your cards are lining up in a row, and over the course of time, these ripples are kind of putting everything back into place. How would you notice, like, is that a similar way you would use to describe your results, or would you describe it in a different way?
No, I definitely think that that's a good description of how I feel about obtaining results. Um, I, I'm a realist, but I'm also an optimist at the same time. So I I do know that it's going to take a series of ripples to get to achieving the overall picture. But I feel like, in a sense, I've kind of achieved it. Now it's just a matter of it manifesting.
Hmm. Yeah. 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 And I think the when it comes to there's been a multiple of different areas. Like, for example, even the one area of eating has a multiple of different facets to it. So
Yes.
you've got your mindset, and you've got just like how do you even approach food, like to shopping, to what is foods that are going to nourish the body and provide the energy, the vitality, the long-term health, these things. So um, there's food quantity. There's also the binging versus balanced eating equation. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of little bits and pieces inside of the subject of eating. Um, so I think what you described there is really valid, and it is being realistic with, well, if I don't quite have the knowledge, or I haven't combined the right knowledge with the right mindset, then that's going to take time to kind of take my mindset or my new way of thinking and my new beliefs or my new shifts, and how to plug my new knowledge into those new beliefs and kind of connect the dots, so to speak. And that's kind of what I'm referring to by the ripples, is there's these big shifts that are requiring a few new connections, and they're all being made, every moment. And so that's kind of how I kind of would that's how I would kind of look at and grasp and listen to the way the changes are made, is that it's all these new connections that are being created as a result of the original shift.
Okay. Sounds good.
Mm. Yeah, and that's why it's important just to continually be growing.
Yes. Life
So
never stops
that's
teaching, so you can never stop learning.
that's right. That's right. Life is always teaching us. So yeah, having those goals in your future will be a really great way, now that you've got some really compelling goals in your future that you're drawn towards, that your new actions that will be as a result of not only the shifts from your past and the shifts in your present, but now the new compelling goals will all work together to draw you to the place that you want to be faster and easier than you may have without having these calls or without having, gone through this process over the last 5 weeks.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Cool. So what I'd kind of like to